Soul to soul, feel the rhythm flow. Heart wide open, let your spirit glow. With Artie Hoffman, now you know. Soul to soul, let's go.
Welcome back to Soul with Artie. I am so happy to be here with Mr. Artie
And
Hoffman.
Esther.
Yeah.
Esther.
And of course with myself as
My
well.
Esther.
Artie has read for over 35,000 people, some of them celebrities.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true.
And he has been doing this for over 30 years. And I don't know how that's possible because you're what? 35,
That's
37.
About it. That's That's it.
He's also an
Forever
author.
young, baby.
Forever young. He's an
Yeah.
author of these two books, Angels and Answers, and the one that I love the title, Have Your Angels Call My Angels. And they're both available on Amazon.
I have to say, I'm moving slower than I want to because I am writing a third book, and I just, I have to be in the mood to write the book, and I started writing it and then I stopped and then life got in the way. And it's about a bunch of experiences of people who I've read for and their testimonials, and also a bunch of post-ups that I write, inspirational messages. And the name of that book is going to be called Was It Something I Said?
I love that.
So
that's hilarious.
So that's going to be I feel like that's going to be a really fun, great book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading
It's going to be
Artie.
absolutely marvelous. I'm
I
telling
can't
you.
wait. I can't
The
wait.
stories are just going to keep flying, baby.
And a little later on in the podcast, we're going to have Susan Alper, who is a seasoned matchmaker, connector, and helps people find meaningful relationships in love and life. That's something we really need a lot of today. So we're looking forward to that reading as well. So,
Awesome.
Artie, I've seen you do a lot of one-on-one readings, but I've never seen you in a group. So tell me what the difference is in what you do, like an individual versus your group readings.
Oh, you want to? It's interesting because a lot of people ask me, do I get burnt out when I do parties,
true. And
or
I've
when
asked
I
you
do
that.
events, or lots
Yeah.
of people in the room. And so what I do is, I've seen other people go in a room and there's like, say, a group of 40, 50 people, whatever, give or take. And there's only a handful of people that can get read, maybe 8 people, 10 people, when I've seen other mediums or psychics do their thing. So, when I produce my own shows, or I have my personal producers produce the shows, we usually keep it like, I would say no more than 30 or so. And then everyone will get a reading.
Right.
And I tell everybody, and I'll give everyone just a couple of minutes. That's it, a couple of minutes. And I go from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. And so what I do is to try to make sure that I'm connecting to that person who I'm reading. I put my hand on their shoulder, or I'll hold their hand. Or if they want me to communicate to a deceased loved one, I said, just show me a picture of your loved one that's on the phone who's deceased, or a picture if you have it, and I'll just start getting you stuff right at the top of my head. And I don't even have time to think. I just feel it, I do it, and it's just storytelling time to me. And when people get going with, oh my God, and their friends are laughing at the table based on what I said, and sometimes they can't relate to it. And what happens is that the person next to them or the person across the table said, no, that's me. So I'm connecting to their loved ones, or connecting to their story. So it's, there is a different, one-on-one, it's more in depth, more personable.
Yeah.
And when I do say if I'm doing a group, when I'm doing a group reading in front of a bunch of other people, I'm able just to, give them a little tidbits of whatever I get in the moment. And it could be really deep stuff, or it could be, oh, you need to fix a broken window, or you need to get your pipes fixed, or there are times like when I do group readings, if it's really personal, I tell them, I said, I'll whisper in your ear. I tell people beforehand, if I get any dirt on anybody and they all go, I said, don't worry, for $20, I'll whisper in your ear, in front of everybody. So, and I make light of everything, and I try to, and what's really interesting is while I'm reading somebody, it will trigger off a memory of a past story of something that happened, or it will trigger off something that's very inspirational. And it's not just for the person I'm reading, but for everybody in the room. so everybody else can get inspired or whatnot. But I feel really good after every show I do. I really do. And, people will ask me, do I get burnt out? And I really don't, because as I start, the momentum and the energy gets up more and more and more and more. And I love reading for skeptics because they have no expectations whatsoever. And they're easy to hit because they have no expectations. So boom, 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 boom. There was a show that I did, and I spoke to everybody, and I said, "Listen, is there anybody in the audience who's a skeptic?" And one girl raised her hand, and I said, "All right, I'm not reading you," but I was just joking. But yet, it turns out she ended up being the one who had the most information out
Wow.
of everybody.
That's so interesting. And I was going to ask you if you sometimes are reading one person, but you're picking up someone else at the same time, or the one is interfering
that
with the
definitely
other.
happens. And there was a time when I was doing an event, and I told this one beautiful, you got to turn that off, baby, completely off.
Yes, we're recording now.
We're recording now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just going to pause for a second. So there was a girl that I was standing behind, and I was getting her father, and I said, "You need to stand up." And she turns around, and I started dancing with her, and I held her in my arms, and I started singing, "Have I told you lately that I love you?" And she started to cry, and she goes, "That was my father's daughter's song at my wedding."
That's beautiful.
And of course, everybody else gets very caught up in it, and the tears start flowing and emotional and stuff like that. So it was very cool when that happens. But there's a lot of sentimental moments. There was another time where, as soon as I started the show, I walked over to this one lady to my left, and I started singing Frank Sinatra songs to her right away. And she started to cry. And I said, "I don't know why I'm singing Frank Sinatra to you." And she started to cry. She goes, "Because I was the one who took care of my father when he passed away. And for the last 3 weeks before he died," she goes, "all I did was play Frank Sinatra songs for him."
Wow.
And I said to my father on the way coming over here to the show, "Dad, please, if you're with me, just have him sing anything that has to do with Frank Sinatra or mention Frank Sinatra." And that was how I started my show. And so she was just, so right now I've been invited to all her family functions. I'm only kidding.
Did you
I'm in her will.
Did you ever have a moment where the entire group reacted?
Oh God, yeah.
And tell us about it.
Yeah. No,
No.
I will. No. So, what happened was, this is really cool, and I just put this up on my social media too.
That's true. I saw
this
that.
little reel,
Yeah.
and everyone reacted, and it was so cool. And this happened many times. Like just recently, I just started filming my own shows. Before that, I would just
You should
do a
have
show.
always been doing that.
I know. But now, since I met you and Kat, it's like now I have to be more conscientious about doing all this filming stuff, which I don't know. It just takes time to do all this.
It does.
But I'm finding out it is worth its while because I am getting a lot more attention. So anyway, I'm standing behind this one woman, and there's a group of women in the room. There's about, 25 women or so. And I'm standing with this one woman. I said, and I'm looking at her mother's picture, and I go, "Your mother's saying it's all about you, or it's all about her." And she goes, "Marsha, Marsha, Marsha," from the Brady Bunch.
Right. I remember that.
And the whole table went, "Oh my God." And the lady looked at me and she goes, "That was my mother's name, Marsha." And she goes,
incredible.
"And my name's Marsha, and I was named after my mother."
Wow.
And so from that, and then I started getting in more details. And people, like, once you just say that one thing, it's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so I said to everybody, as soon as I said that, I said, "All right, everyone, the show's over. I'm ending on a high note. I can't top that. That's it."
Well,
so
that's
it was a lot of fun. But like I said, I joke around with it. I talk about serious topics, but I try to throw a lot of sense of humor in it. And so I'm a medium and Billy Crystal all wrapped up in one.
That's really funny.
And that's the way I am. It's the way I've always been. And so there was another lady at the same party, and a Polish woman, and I said to her, I said, I'm seeing you going like this. I said, did you used to make dresses when you were young? I see you like, fixing dresses or making dresses. And she looks at me and her whole table went nuts. And she says, I'm a seamstress. She goes, that's what I do for a living.
Wow.
And I said, and I said, there's an older woman with you right now. It was either your mother or your grandmother. I said, they taught you, one of them. And she goes, yeah, my grandmother taught me how to do this. And I said, she was very meticulous. I said, she trained you to be very meticulous and very methodical. And she goes, yes, that's exactly how I am. And I said, you're very organized. And the whole table went, oh my God. And she was like, oh my God, oh my God. And here I am, when I first looked at the woman, and I'm thinking to myself, am I able to read this woman? And this is where I just got to give it up to God. And I just said, whatever pulls through, pulls through. I like I said, I have no clue what I'm going to say. So it's like, do I get those moments of like awness when I'm in a crowd? I do. And then there are people who are like this with me, and their energy is trying to be blocked off. And the last person who did that to me, I said, wow, you're a control freak, aren't you? I said, everything's got to be done your way. And I said, and your father wants to apologize for the way he treated you because you didn't get the kind of time and love and acceptance from him. And all of a sudden this bitch all of a sudden started having tears in her eyes, and she said, yeah, and all of a sudden it just softened her up. And, with that, I was able to read a little bit more into her, and I just said, you're a control freak and you always like to have things your way and everything's, and her friends are going, yeah, you think? So it's like I said, it's just really cool. And when I could get the place riled up, and the funny thing is like when I get super deep with certain people with their stories or a moment, even the rest of the room goes, oh my God. Or if it's very sentimental, their tears will start to flow because they get so touched by the stories.
We had a moment here in one of our early podcasts where you were able to read Brittany's great-grandmother. You knew her name, you knew everything about her, and she just fell apart. She just was
and you told me this is a girl that doesn't cry at all.
No, never seen her cry.
And then all of a sudden on air.
Yeah, and we were all in tears here in the studio. We were just shocked. I understand that happening in a group setting.
In a previous show, you asked me what was one of my most memorable moments. And I have a lot of them. There was a family, an India family, who actually drove from Virginia to come and see me, which was 4.5 hours away, which I was extremely flattered. I mean, granted, they wanted to connect to their daughter who passed away. And then from my place, I'm only 20 minutes away from Newark Airport, in case anybody wants to come visit me. So anyway, write that down. Yeah. My number is 1-900. Call me now. So here I am. So here they are, and their one son was there also. And I don't get caught up with readings with people. I very rarely will get emotionally caught up because I just channel, I deliver, they get affected, and I don't, at least most of the time. And so I'm looking at their daughter's picture, and she said, somebody's birthday's today, or somebody's birthday's right about now. And she's and the parents said, yeah, today's her birthday.
Oh my God.
So and then of course more details came up, and she was mentioning about funny events, how she used to be, and the little antics, and they were all crying and laughing at the same time. And the brother was also being really touched because he didn't know what to expect. And the father just had probably the most difficult time, even though they all felt it, but I think the father had the hardest time dealing with his daughter's passing. And
sure. It's very difficult.
But it was, when you lose a child, there's nothing more worse.
There's nothing more worse.
I mean, with parents and other people, I don't want to say it's expected, but there's more of an acceptance, even though,
Yeah.
but there are people who, but anyway, so I just wanted to say that one reading, and I could count it on my hands that I got personally emotionally caught up. That was one of the very, very, very few times where I personally emotionally got caught up in the reading.
Yeah.
And I could feel their their emotions. But yeah, that was a really cool moment. And again, I was flattered that they traveled 4.5 hours to see me. And I was like praying when they told me that. I'm thinking, oh God, I hope I make it worth their while. It's not like, all right, come in, shoot them out, come in, shoot them out. I'm not like that. I always try to give everybody their best,
Of course.
give everybody my best and stuff. Listen, you give me your best, I'll give you my best.
So now it's time to actually give your best to Susan Alper here,
I'll
who's
try.
been waiting
I'll see what I
patiently
can
to
do.
do a
Listen,
reading.
no expectations. It's just like
Yeah,
whatever
yes.
it is, it is.
Make me cry.
Let me cry. There you go. Bend over. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Stop it, Artie. Stop it. Let me have your hand.
My hand?
Yeah, let me have your hand. And all. Darling, your nails are beautiful. My back just got all excited. Oh my
I have
God.
to do a manicure tomorrow. Don't look up
That's
close.
great. Oh my
They look
God.
great. They look great.
All right, we have an appointment tomorrow. Then we have a back scratching appointment. All right.
Oh, I like that too.
Is it your mom that passed away? Is it your mom that passed away, or is it your grandmother that passed? Is somebody in spirit who you miss a lot?
Yeah.
I miss you, and I was getting a female energy.
Yeah.
Was it your grandmother?
My
or-
grandma must be my best friend.
Oh, she was
raised
like
me.
your best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was also like a mother figure. So
She was my everything.
she was your everything. And that was she pulled through and she says, I am behind you, sweetheart. 100%. And she goes, I won't let anybody hurt you. And if they're going to hurt you, they have to go through me first. And I always felt like she always spoke like this too with you. And, she said, you were like the apple of her eye and you could do no wrong. And she loved, like, you were very inquisitive and you asked a lot of questions. And she looked at you like both of you were like Thelma and Louise. And can we go here and can we do this and can we do that? And she said, yes, yes, yes. Come on, let's go for some ice cream. Where do you want to go next? And she wasn't the type that would say, all right, you've done enough. Let's go. No, she was right with you like your big sister, mother, everything and all. And give me your hand. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See, because she's kissing
Oh my
your
God,
hand.
she used to do that.
She used to do that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and she just told me to kiss your hand.
Oh my
and,
God.
And she goes, you're the best. She goes, I just love you to pieces, forever and ever and always. And I'm also getting. Did she used to sign her car forever and always?
Her what?
Did she used to sign like birthday cards or
Yeah.
or I'm getting forever and always? And she would always give you money because I see her going like this to you. Like, here's my, don't tell him, I just hear.
Yeah.
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 And all. So she hated to see you upset or cry. What's the matter, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's the matter, sweetheart? What's the matter, but she always tried to, and I feel like is she the one that was like a really good cook also?
No.
No?
The worst cook.
All right. So who's also here with somebody here that was very good with the cooking or the baking?
Her baking. She made only for me. Like she was a good baker, but for me, Grandma, can you make me chocolate cake? She
Oh,
would
okay,
go.
so
yeah,
that's
for me,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. But she wasn't a good cook.
Okay, so it wasn't the cook. She was the bake.
Yeah, she was
because
bake.
that's what I was getting. Because she instantly went in the
Yeah.
kitchen and she says, "All right, what are you gonna?" So
Yeah.
I took it as cooking instead of baking.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Same difference. Okay.
Yeah. She called macaroni and cheese.
I'll take half a point on
she
that
called
one.
macaroni and cheese a casserole dish.
We love to improvise. That's
Oh, I
right.
made you pasta tonight. Oh, really?
Really?
And macaroni and cheese, but she baked it in the oven. So it was
You know
like
what? And I think maybe that's what it was about. You know,
Yeah.
that may have come out a little later.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what she was saying with the cook. That's why she like made it bigger than what it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
So that's why
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
But she is so in your corner and she is with you and she is loving you and she's supporting you 1,001%. She goes, what you do for other people, she says, you're just amazing. And and I feel like you have pictures of you and her around, and she loves that too. And she hears you talk to her because you're always calling her out, always calling her. Becky. Who's Becky or Elizabeth?
Her daughter.
Her daughter?
Yeah,
Is
Elizabeth, her oldest daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. Send my love to Elizabeth.
Wow.
Send my love to Elizabeth. And she says you need to brush yourself off. She's almost like if you feel, She's almost like, just brush it off. I feel like her daughter's going through something very hard right now.
Okay.
And she says, don't allow yourself to be stuck. I'm not sure exactly what I'm talking about. She says, I don't know if it's her relationship or somebody just wronged her. She says, honey, just brush it off and move on.
She had breast cancer and she lost her husband around the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really hard.
But she held a grudge. I think there was a grudge between the two of them.
Be-
Because my grandmother had breast cancer
Do me a favor. Don't tell me anything else.
Okay. No,
Let-
because I get what she said.
Oh,
she's
so
saying.
why?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like because she says brush up, maybe, so don't brush off the grudges, like don't hold the grudges.
Yeah.
I think that's then where she's coming from based on what you just
Yeah.
said and all. Do you have her shoes, or is it that you're always going shoe shopping or something?
Shoe
Or
shopping.
she always shoe shopping. She goes, oh my God. She goes, I love your shoes. I love your shoes. She keeps saying, I love your shoe collection. I love your shoes.
I love shoes.
Well,
Shoes.
oh, okay, yeah. I also feel like, did she used to also sing to you, "You Are My Sunshine," or hey, how's my sunshine, or "You
Yeah.
Are My Sunshine"?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting something with sunshine.
Yeah.
You're always very creative too. I always felt like you were very hands-on, and you would do coloring, or you do crafts together and stuff like that. And whenever you hear songs with the word angel in it, that is going to be one of her hellos to you. The reason why I say that is because I'm hearing the song in my head. Just call me angel
Yeah.
in the morning, darling. So I'm hearing that song in my head. What was her name? Who sang it? I know her name, and I just drew a
not
blank.
Carpenter. Not Carpenter.
No, not the Carpenters. Kat will figure it out.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. But anyway, Juice Newton.
Yeah,
It was Juice Newton. There you go. Thank you. I was picking up the vibes on the other side. She had it. But and I also feel like she also liked to sing a lot too. I feel like she liked to sing, or she liked to hum.
She liked to be with me in the car, like you said, Thelma and Louise
Uh-huh.
in my sports car.
Okay.
She was ready to go. Like waited outside that door for me to pick her up. We just
Don't be surprised if
yeah.
you hear the volume go up by itself in the car, or the station turns by itself in the car, because that will definitely be your mother.
Oh my God. When my mother passed away, I stayed in the morgue with my mom, and I talked to her soul. And 3:00 in the morning, when they finally picked up the body, I went in the car. My friend picked me up, and I said, I'm bringing my mom's soul home. She says to me, Suze, I said, watch this. Mom, are you in the car? And the radio changed channels. We went back to my apartment, and I said, we were going to bed. She stayed with me the night. And I said, Mom, are you here? And the picture of my mother, my grandmother, and myself fell off the wall, and the light flickered.
Okay.
And I said, did I not bring home the
Cool.
soul?
Yep.
Yeah, so you got it. Really dead on. Wow. I want to hold your hand long. I miss Grandma.
She said, sweetheart, the right man will come into your life when you open your heart. She said, you're very guarded, and he's there for you. He's waiting for you patiently. And she said, you can't compare this gentleman, this fella, to any other guy, because he's going to have the same spirit that you do. And she goes, you're going to meet your match as far as energy and being whacked out there. She said, you're going to meet your match. I promise you that. And there will be a strong sign for myself. You'll see the red cardinals to let you know that I'm around you around the time that you meet him. And it's funny because he's going to greet you with open arms. He goes, I'm here. The love of your life is here. It's like he's just going to be there. And she goes, it's going to sound like he's being just joking, and he might just sound like he's joking or being playful. But he goes, your knight in shining armor is here. What are you waiting for? But she says, you will experience something to that effect. And she goes, you'll know. She goes, I'm telling you, this wackadoo, that's the guy that you want. She goes, you don't want someone who's too serious. You don't want somebody who's controlling. You want somebody, she goes, like us, meaning you and her.
Uh-huh.
She goes, like how we were. She goes, that's your match. That's your man. And she goes, honey, he will take very good care of you, and he's going to live longer than you. So even at the time comes at when you're like checking out, he will make sure that you're okay, because you're going to need somebody right there by your side to help you transcend. She goes, it's not soon for that to happen.
Okay.
She goes, but open your heart and just keep telling God, or if you want to talk to me, say, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. So you do this for other people. She goes, now you got to do it for yourself.
I want to receive, Grandma.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
She says,
That's time. It's my time now.
yeah. But I was explaining to my lovely friend Esther over here, who
Yes.
I love to death.
Oh,
I love
stop.
this woman. So I said to her, for you to attract, there's two types of hearts that people have within their soul. There is the emotional heart that wants to love, and there's the defensive heart that wants to protect you. There are so many people that are afraid to be hurt that their defensive heart is much greater, much stronger than their emotional heart. So they're so afraid of being hurt that they're not allowing that opportunity of true love to go into their life. And so I feel like with all the experiences that you see with other people, and you do get very happy when you get those connections, and you are very happy. But then I also feel like there's some pain or hurt connected with past love, whether it be abandonment or whether it be just being chastised or whatever. But there's something within your inner child that you're afraid to allow yourself deep inside, because you don't want to get hurt, because you've seen too much. You've seen a lot. So she says, but honey, your Romeo's right around the corner. Your Alpha Romeo is right around the corner. We like to say that he has a nice bank account. As a matter of fact, this guy, it wouldn't surprise me either. He probably works in a high-end store or a shop where he might sell high-end cars, or he sells high-end boats or pianos. I feel like he's a salesman, or maybe he's a jewelry salesman, but I feel like he's got a dynamite salesman type personality that's very playful, but yet he's very strong within his life. So I do feel like you are able to attract this kind of guy in your life. And because she said, Mr. Alfa Romeo. So if she's saying that, she goes, if I'm going to give you a good quality person, she goes, I'm going to give you a good quality person. She goes, not a schmuck. That's how she said it. And what was really cool about your relationship is that the two of you could share everything and anything with each other.
Yeah.
And she says she knows how much you miss your daily conversations with her and stuff. She goes, honey, I know you appreciate me. She goes, and I'll be the first one with open arms when your time comes. She goes, you're not going to be alone. She goes, there's nothing to be afraid of. And she goes, I promise you I'm having the time of my life. She said, yes. She goes, I'm no longer connected to any of the pains or aches and pains within my body. She goes, I could breathe perfectly, no pain. She goes, it all goes away as soon as you cross over.
Yeah.
All those aches and pains go away. She goes, I promise you that. Is she the one? I don't know if she's talking about you or talking about her. Had no filter with what they would say.
No, that's her sister.
Oh, that's her sister.
That's her sister. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's with her, Bessie.
Oh, okay.
My aunt was complete opposite of my grandmother.
Oh,
She had
okay.
no
Very
filter.
good.
Yeah, when she owned stores, high-end stores. My
Oh.
aunt Bessie with my grandmother.
Oh,
And
okay.
my aunt, someone would come in and she'd say to the daughter, if you don't fix your daughter's big nose, she'll never get married. And my grandmother would say, Bessie, you can't say that. She goes, oh, I could say that.
That is too.
Well, I do
funny.
that for a living
has-
too, right?
right.
In my business,
You
I
have to be honest.
I have to be honest.
So this is you, the no filter person, but
yeah,
that's
I'm
where
a
you
no
got
filter.
it.
Yeah, I got
okay.
it from my aunt Bessie.
That is way too funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's funny. It's like your grandmother saying, I'll help you out, but just understand I tell it like it is. She says, I will help you to your next step, but just also get prepared. I tell it like it is. It's something to that effect.
Well, she's free to talk, right? In the spirit world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned Rose before. Is who's Rose? Rosemary? Mary Rose? Miriam?
Mary was my grandma.
Oh, Rosemary is your grandmother?
Grandma Mary.
You have Grandma Mary.
Yeah. Rose, I just met a Rose a few days ago.
No, but then it's Mary because I got Rosemary or Mary Rose.
Mary, my grandma Mary.
Your Grandma Mary.
Yeah.
And that was her name?
Yeah, that was her name.
Mary?
Mary.
Okay, that's what I got.
But she was a Rose to me.
But okay, I understand that. I understand that. Did you just give her flowers or did you just put flowers by her grave but she's saying thank you for the beautiful flowers. She's acknowledging something with flowers.
Yeah, they forgot to put flowers for a few years at her gravestone. And I told my family I want flowers there. So they put them down in the
and she's acknowledging the fact that you put the flowers there. Okay.
Yeah.
And I also feel like there was an engraving on her behalf in her memory. There was like some kind of an engraving, like some kind of a memory, like in memory of Mary or something like that. Was this a bench? Is this
It's
within
her
the family tree?
It's her gravestone. Her stone?
I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it's more than a gravestone. I feel like it has something to do that I feel like and you might understand this later, but I feel like somebody made a donation to mark her.
Oh, I just finished writing a book, and in my book, maybe when I release it, is a lot to do with my grandma.
With your grandmother?
Yeah.
Okay, that could be it. I didn't see it as a book, but that could be it.
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell it like it is.
Okay.
She says, honey, I want you to have a sex life.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. She's really in the room.
Right. She's in the room.
I love your grandmother. I love her. Never met her, but I love her.
She's about to call her the Sahara Desert.
Oh
Sahara Desert. She's calling her nickname is Sahara or Sarah.
Oh my God.
Oh, grandma.
That's funny.
Oh God. Because if you knew my grandma, she was very like the queen.
Right.
Very royalty looking, like, white gloves and everything.
And obviously blunt.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's right. She's definitely right. It's been a long time. Where's my Alfa Romeo, man?
Yeah, he's coming. She says, just keep your heart open.
It's open, Grandma. Look, it's
right.
open. I never worked hard on my heart to heal my heart, okay?
Hold
I
it.
heal everybody else's heart. I finally decided to heal my own heart. And I did a good job at it.
What was there a divorce or was somebody engaged and it didn't go through? That's where it came from.
What do you mean?
That's where, now that you're gone, all that's left is a band of gold. And that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
From the dreams I've owned. From the memories. And that's where your defensive heart was. And that's why you were blocking for so long. I feel like because your grandmother just brought everything to your subconscious to open up your heart, I feel like right now you're going, and I'm getting chills in my spine right now. So I do feel it. And she's also letting you know there's going to be a white feather that you're going to acknowledge. That will also be her hello to you.
It's funny, I get that from my mom. The feathers.
The feathers?
I wake up and there's could be a feather like in the middle of nowhere, like in my room. Like I wake up. I got that. I thought it was my mom.
So that was your mom. So that's her letting you know.
It's my grandma or my mom?
That's your mom.
My
no,
mom.
if you relate it to your mom, then it's your mom. It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. They're both together.
They are. They are. Thank God.
Yeah. I feel like somebody used to make a mean matzo ball soup. They either made a mean matzo ball soup or they love their matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
Because I just heard matzo
Carnegie
ball
Deli.
Yeah.
Not my family.
Oh, okay.
My mom once made chicken soup. She forgot to put the chicken in.
That's funny.
That's funny.
That was funny. She was a real businesswoman. She didn't really love the kitchen. It wasn't her thing.
Okay, well then she's appreciating the matzo ball soup. That's exactly what I'm picking up on. I'm also getting a certain memory or a pain from the yesteryears where somebody squeezed you so hard they actually left you a black and blue. They either squeezed your leg, they squeezed your arm or something, and they actually left you a black and blue.
In my family or
I'm not sure, but that's what I'm seeing. Gret, was that you by any chance or no? Your friend? No. Yeah, but I'm seeing somebody. Now, if you can't relate to what I'm saying now,
yeah.
then somebody might be grabbing you maybe a little harder than what you expected. But I'm seeing a black and blue mark, or it might be black and blues up the arms, maybe from shots or something, but I'm seeing black and blues on the arm.
Well, maybe I find this Romeo to have sex with. He'll
Yeah,
he'll
that,
he'll
S&M, there you go.
Yeah, okay, tie me up, baby.
There you go.
It's been a long time.
Whips and chains, go
right.
all out.
There's a bruise. I'll
Say
call. I'll
goodbye to
say,
the
Artie,
Sahara.
I got the bruise, and I told Grandma, thank you.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Right,
That's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
talking about.
Let's go.
That's a new one. Thank you, Artie. I'm going to remember that.
Well, in matchmaking, I was the first one to do the gay community. Nobody wanted to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do everybody. I was
Wow.
the first one. I do intermarriages. I'm open to everybody and any. I work with autistic, functioning autistic. I work with people in wheelchairs, deaf, blind.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are the matchmaker, the ultimate matchmaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
the matchmaking. I'm not a dating service. I'm a real matchmaker. They come to me for everything. I do the whole thing. Consultation, sometimes psychic readings. Like I work with the whole
Gambit.
because it's not about me. It's sometimes people need to go. They come to you to meet somebody, but you're not ready to meet someone. You start telling me your story. I'm like, woo, you need to see a few people. You need
Right.
to have closure with people upstairs.
Exactly.
And that's where people like you come in. They need that
Exactly.
closure. Do you understand? Like if you don't have the closure, I always tell people, the universe is
You know what it is?
my boss, right?
Uh-huh.
If like I'm here, I'm only an assistant down here. Like everything comes from there. So I always tell people, if you have some issues with there, you better resolve it because this isn't going to work.
Right.
No matter how much money, how much.
So I said to a friend not too long ago,
Yeah.
I said this. I said it's all about forgiveness.
There you
And-
go.
And right.
Yeah, because they
And what
control
friend
everything.
would that be?
Well, they
I can't remember. I just drawing a blank.
Well, Artie, think about it. If you have issues with your dad as a child, right?
Mhm.
And your dad's passed,
Right.
and you didn't resolve those issues, you're going to just keep repeating,
Right.
looking for that man
Right.
in somebody else or a woman in that person to resolve it until you realize, like, how many times am I going to repeat this and repeat this and repeat this? They could say daddy issues or mommy issues. It's true. The first
Right.
person in your life to disappoint you is what you're always going to seek for the rest of your life to
Mhm.
repair that wound in you.
Right.
So remember, it's that connection. So someone like you could help people, and that's why I do it with people like
Right.
you because
And
I don't have that connection. I mean, I
what
do.
you're
But
what you're explaining to me
Yeah.
is the same thing that I say to other people, that it comes within. People just keep too surface, always want the band-aids and always want to be fixed in the moment. And I said, you got to fix underneath first,
the scars
within the scars, the emotional scars,
of
for you
course.
to attract the kind of quality people that you want in your life. Otherwise, they keep saying, why do I keep on attracting the same crap in my life? Why do I keep on attracting the same girl, the same guy, whoever, whatever, and that's why. So
Well, it's like when I was growing up, my mother said, he's such a nice guy. The way she said he was a nice guy, he wasn't for me.
you're right.
Like, because I had to go for someone like my dad. I
Right.
needed that wild, I needed that, that
Austin Powers, baby.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
instability, crazy. We're here today, we're gone tomorrow. We don't, so I look for that. That's what I would always go for. Boring scared me. You know what I mean? Until I was in a relationship with someone who was a little bit more stable. But no matter how
So
stable.
I said to you,
Yeah.
you are going to attract somebody who's a little more on the wild side and who is like more like your grandmother's personality, like your person.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to have. And
Yeah.
that's what you've been describing.
Yeah.
And when I signed my books, I have, those 2 books that Esther was saying, a lot of times I write this saying, the love and respect that you give is the love and respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
I just leave it at that. And a lot of people, they act a certain way and they want people to respect them in a different way. It's like if you act childish or if you're acting foolish or if you're acting disrespectful, don't think you're going to get the kind of quality people in your life that you want. You need to treat people in the way that you want to be treated. But then again, if you're treating people in a certain respectful way and you're not getting that in return, then it's your fault for allowing this person to remain in your life, because this is where you got to create balance and boundaries in your life.
I agree with you. The thing is, like when I interview somebody, right? Today we live in a very visual world, so it's all about pictures and trying to be somebody else, right? Like you post your picture because you saw someone else's picture, the way she posed her picture, so you want to be her. But your personality doesn't match that picture.
Right.
So that's the issue. So when I sit down with people in the consultation, I say, well, okay, now that we spoke and everything, I said, who are you? She says, well, I said, no, you're not. That's why you keep attracting the wrong people. Because this person in the picture is not the picture and not anything that I've documented about you. Complete.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just put that.
yeah, so that's the issue. It all starts with your profile, what you're setting out. And sometimes people don't even realize when I say to them, okay, I'll give you what you need and what you deserve. And they're like, what do you mean? So 99% of my clients who are successfully matched right away, they say, we would never picked each other. I said, of course not. That's why you came to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I tell a lot of people, they go after the wrong person. And I said, you might think you want the Mercedes or you're going after a Mercedes. I said, but the engine runs like crap. I said,
it's a Ford engine.
Yeah. First see if they could afford to drive in your car, baby.
Yeah.
So, but I said, and I'm telling you, and I go into specific because, like I said to you earlier, I'm very good at describing people's future love, as far as visual. That's one of my stronger traits besides everything else. But I say to them, I said, this is the kind of and then, like I said, every single reading is different as far as who I see them being with. Just because I see them being with them, it doesn't mean is it going to be the love of your life. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. So,
who wants one love?
Really cool story going back to when Esther asked me about, memorable moments with my readings. Now, I don't remember what I say to people. I don't.
Okay.
It's not until they come back to me when I'm in a conscious state of mind, and then I'll remember. And so I'm sitting at an ice cream store, and on one of my vehicles, the license plate says, I just know. So I'm getting into the car, licking my chocolate ice cream with rainbow sprinkles because I remember it like it happened yesterday. And this family of 5 is sitting on the bench up against the ice cream building. And the lady, yells out to me. She goes, hey, I love your license plate. I said, I have that there because I'm a psychic. She goes, I know, you read for me 3 years ago. And she goes, and you predicted my husband here. And I go, really?
I love it.
And she goes, yeah, you told me his name started with the letter J. And you told me that he's like a mechanic or a carpenter. And I forgot which one he was, but he was one of those. And you described him physically, exactly what he looked like and what he was going through in his life. And back in the day, we had cassette tapes.
Oh, God,
and so as a gift, I would give all my clients cassette tapes so they could re-listen to their reading. And he goes, dude, I listened to that tape when she showed me. She goes, you were right on the money with me. She goes, you described all my situation, what I'm going through. And and they were happily married 3 years. And it was really cool. So she said, you said his name started with the letter J and his name was Jay.
Wow.
So it was really cool. So it's like, it goes on and on and on and on. People will ask me, what percentage would you say that I'm right? And I said, I don't know. I would have to say, the number that I get in my head right now is probably like about 80%, which is pretty good.
Which is very good.
Which is pretty good. It's pretty high up there. So when I tell people bad news, because people ask me, do you get bad news? Do you ever give people bad news? And it's like, well, I give them what I known as hard news. But if I'm giving them any troubling news, I said, I will give you the antidote to try to get over whatever it is I just said to you, and then hopefully you're able to overcome that situation. And I tell them, so like when they're in a relationship, and I tell them what they don't want to hear, and I go, you know what? Maybe I suck on this one. I says, I'm not God. And I said, I got good news and I got bad news. I said, the good news is I'm not God and I'm not right 100% of the times. The bad news is I'm right most of the times.
Well,
And so I just
you
tell
get
them.
it's like anybody. You give someone advice, they take it or they don't take it. That's
Yeah,
up to them,
right,
right?
right.
You could tell them it. You know, I see you like this, but they get there and they're not comfortable. That's out of your hands. You know what I mean? It's you're giving them a kind of a tool, or telling them what's good or what's not good. It's their
Right.
choice. People still have the right to make a choice. You could tell me today I'm going to meet the guy out for my main or whatever, but that guy shows up. It's still my choice. Do I
Mhm.
want this guy or do I don't?
Yeah, if he has an
You know?
alcohol break. So your mother, when you were saying that, your
Yeah.
mother's saying, I am hand picking this guy for you.
Yeah,
She
Ma.
goes, you better not say no. She's like, I wipe my hands of the whole thing. She goes, I'm describing this guy perfectly to you. She's laughing. She's smiling. She goes, don't worry, sweetheart. You're going to have a love life. You're going to have a sex life. And then she just said, from my mouth to God's ears, so it will happen.
So Susan, I mean,
Yeah.
given what these days the environment where people are on dating apps and people's disillusionment with dating apps,
Yeah.
how can they contact someone like yourself, and what sort of service do you provide?
Well, okay. Again, I'm high end.
Okay,
Okay, so it's today. I have a matchmaker community around the world. I work with as
Okay.
well. Okay.
I just looked. She has a high end.
oh my
Hi,
God,
little Lynn.
Nice talkers, I gotta tell you. Okay.
my
She has a nice high end.
Thank you. I'm working on it.
She tells it like it is.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I work with the community. So and I'm very big with long distance because
Okay.
you know people live in small areas, right?
Mhm.
Communities, they know everybody. So
Right.
obviously they have to go outside. And also today we're discussing all the matchmakers. We've discussed that it's getting so busy for us again.
Really?
It's going backwards. Like
Right.
there was a time between the pandemic
Mhm.
where everybody was using online,
Yeah,
but that was the
everybody
only way.
online.
And what
yeah.
happened was the people that normally don't use online, that do come to matchmakers, they're like, you're home, you're lonely, just go on the apps. And they got damaged. This is not the way they want to meet people. You know, look, I'm not big on ordering stuff online to begin with because when it shows up, half the time it doesn't look like what I was supposed to get.
Right.
Imagine you pick a person
Mhm.
and they give you they sell you a fantasy. You marry them.
much,
You marry
yeah.
them, and this is what's happening online.
Yeah.
You know, big scams. And I'm not. And listen, I'm not saying every match I do is perfect because the people that come to you may have issues. Like I said, they have to go get. You know, I say to them, listen. After the consultation, I said, listen, I can't work with you on this yet.
Right.
I feel like myself, and a lot of what I tell people is my experience. You know what I mean? My life story of how I got to why did I go into matchmaking? How did I start so young? And all my friends are still married 30, 40 years ago. But the ones that didn't use me are all divorced. You know, what was my gift? Why did I see that? How come I've never been married? You know,
Oh,
I said, well,
interesting.
my brother used to own vegan restaurants and he's not a vegan. We're just good entrepreneurs.
That's funny.
we
Yeah.
just our
You
gift.
think outside the box.
Yeah, I've always
of
and I used to
what's
sell boxes. That's the funny part. Before I got into, I used to sell boxes, recycled boxes. So, yeah, I've always lived outside the box.
Okay.
Okay, I knew at a very young age that
like I said, you were very protective. That's why I said your emotional heart was. But you said, "Why didn't I get married?" So it's your emotional heart that was stronger than. I mean, your defensive heart was stronger than your emotional heart.
well, I could. My mother was married 3 times. My dad was married twice. Those days when your parents got divorced when you were 4 or 5 was not acceptable as it is today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today
Right.
everybody, I used to say my mom's husband. Your mother's husband is not your dad. Like today, you say your mother's husband, everybody knows. You know, it's a very different world.
Well, that's like that Bruno Mars song. You know, I want to marry you, and
Yeah.
he said, "We'll get married today. And if you want to get divorced tomorrow, that's okay. Let's just do something fun tonight." You know.
Yeah, let's go to Vegas. Let's get
Yeah.
married, and then we'll divorce tomorrow.
Yeah, let's Wang Chong.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's my chunk. But the thing is, like, there's still the old school people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're looking to get married. They want to settle down. They want to have a family. They want to go through the ups and downs and stay through it. As there's the other ones getting married today say, well, he has a lot of money. I'll divorce him. I'll get a lot of money. There's two different worlds today.
I want to share something with you, and I don't know if I'm giving you a heads up based on a future situation or something you might have just dealt with or something. But where there's two people and they might have a lot in common, if somebody wants kids but the other one doesn't want kids, those two definitely should not be together.
100%.
Because if they do have kids, the other person who didn't want kids is going to be resentful, and the person where they end up not having kids because they don't want to lose the person is end up going to be a son of a bitch to their partner because they didn't have kids, and it's by their choice. So if the two of you are on opposite ends, you have to be on the same page where there's no more kids, or you want kids. You got to be, because otherwise that's spell for disaster.
Well, okay, so here's a perfect example. When I interview somebody, right, and you say you want kids, and obviously I'm not going to fix up with someone who doesn't want kids. What I've seen, okay, is sometimes I have to talk to the client of mine, and say to him, listen, I know you say you don't want kids, but this girl is so perfect for you. Why don't you not go in with a no, but not go in with a yes? So there's no fake promises, and see what happens. And 99% of the time, they come because they fall in love and they want to give each other what they want. It's easy to interview somebody today who's angry, had a bad experience,
right?
And I don't want this, and I don't want that. I mean, I had a guy, I don't want this. I'm never getting married. I'm never having any more kids. And he got married and he has a little girl and he's very happy. And he says to me, Susan, you did it. I said, I know, because when you're angry, when you're angry, you say things that you may not
really mean
in a year or two when you're happy again. So you have to be open. Or here's an example. I get a guy comes to me and says, I don't want someone with little kids. I have my own kids. I don't want someone else's. And I said, well, okay. And the next thing you know, he asked me about the girl that I wanted to fix him up with, but she has little kids. I said, well, I wanted to fix you up with that girl, but you told me you don't want little kids. And then they get married. And then she says to me, well, you didn't want to fix us up. I said, well, no, I wanted to fix you guys up. It's just that he told me he didn't want someone with little kids. So I can't always listen to every word somebody says to me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I have to play around with things, and that's what I do. I'm not a dating, so I'm a real matchmaker. So I'll convince my client what's good for him or her, then just say, okay, forget it. Okay, you're right. Don't have it, and we'll give you someone else. No, you have to work through the issues.
I tell a lot of people, I says, go in it with no expectations. I said, just be yourself. And I just spoke with somebody the other day because she wanted to know about
be yourself. Who's like in a world today? Who's really being their self?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? You can't really be yourself, because if you
this was really funny that you just said that.
If you show vulnerability, ooh, there you go. She's vulnerable. I'm going to take her down.
There you go. The cheetah is now chasing the gazelle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm taking her down now.
So there was something I want to say, and I just forgot what I was going to say.
It'll come back to you.
Okay, I just had a moment.
So if somebody wanted to contact you, how would they do it?
Susan Alper Connections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, say that slowly.
Susan Alper Connections.
Spell Alper.
ALPER.
Okay.
Susan, SUSAN.
When people leave me their number on the phone, on the message.
Oh, they leave on the phone.
Yeah. They say their number. I have to re-listen to the message like 1,000, 100 times to leave it. So that's why I say when I want to leave my number, so I say at the beginning and I say it slowly at the end so that people understand. You always got to make things dummy proof.
Yeah, in a world today, really everything has to be dummy proof.
It's got to be dummy proof, and it's got to be
quick,
short,
fast,
right.
In, out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I work with I have so many different divisions of my company: events, talents, business matchmaking for relationships. I'm the middle person to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I worked hard at it.
She said, "I'm the middle woman."
I'm the middle woman.
I'd like a good threesome, baby. Just joking.
Hey, listen, wait. Yeah, that's another problem. I have to do. I just need one because it's been a long time. I want one-on-one right now.
That's really funny. No. So, any case, it was such a pleasure.
Same
it was
here.
Such a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.
Really
Thank you.
This was very informative.
It was
and I'm
really,
glad Grandma pulled through.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. She always pulled through.
Yeah, she pulled through big time, and same with your mom and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because I'm seeing like a blanket or a quilt.
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah. She always kept me warm.
Aw.
Yeah.
She was really my
You're a rock. You're
she
everything.
used to call me the poor little rich girl. That's what
Mhm.
she was my savior. I lived with her. I took care of her right to her last breath.
And she knows that. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm happy that
she's
her and my
doing
mom are
great.
together because there was, they needed some closure too, and
Yeah.
I feel them. I feel them a lot.
You don't carry the animosities when you cross. I'm just letting you know. You don't carry the emotional. So if you had like major issues here in life, you don't carry that over into the spiritual world. But what happens is that if you haven't resolved anything,
Yeah.
when you come back into life again, because there is reincarnation, whether it be in this planet or a different place, you will have to redo those issues over again. But while you're there in the spiritual world, you're not dealing with any emotional stuff that you had with the person while you were here.
Wow.
You get along perfectly. And I'm going to give you a perfect example, what I mean by that. So suppose we were in a Shakespeare play. Say you and I, we were in a Shakespeare play. And in the play, there's yelling and screaming. There's the swords, there's blood, there's killing, the whole 9 yards. It's a Shakespeare play. Now all of a sudden the play is over. All right. The curtains are down. The play is over. We go behind stage, and the play is life. We go behind stage. It's in the spiritual world. We're taking off all our makeup, all our clothes, washing off the stains from the blood stains, the pretend blood stains. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're all going out for a bite to eat. We're going to grab a drink. You want to go with us? You and I, we just got finished killing each other. And we're going now out to a nice Jewish deli, about to have a nice sandwich and drinks. Because behind the scenes, you don't carry what you carried on the stage.
I could see that.
And it's the same thing in real life.
It's a great analogy.
And going
Artie.
into the spiritual world.
Well,
It's the same thing.
Can I tell you just a quick story about this whole thing? My father and my mother had the worst divorce. They got divorced when it was really bad, okay? And they didn't really talk. Just before my dad died, I went to see him to say goodbye. And I said, Dad, when you get to heaven, you see Mom, can you send me a message? And he didn't move. He didn't even look at me. I go home. The doctor calls me. He goes, what did you say to him? I said, what do you mean? He says, he came alive. Like literally alive. He's doing his hair. I said, what are you talking about? I said, well, I told him when he gets to heaven, if he sees my mom, to send me a message. I go, I guess he doesn't want to see my mother in heaven. He's not ready. He's not ready to go there and be peace sent with her. I said, okay. So I go back to Toronto to see him one more time. And then I call my brother and said, you better go see Dad. Then I'm in a yoga class. This was in September. He died one day before my mom's birthday. I go to yoga class in March. And the teacher says to me, can I give you a message? Yeah. She says to me, did your daddy pass away sometime? I said, yeah, my dad passed away in September. Yeah, he wants you to know that he found your mom and they're watching over you together.
Wow.
Now, the only person that knew was the doctor and me and my dad.
And I feel like that's why I needed to tell you that story.
Exactly. That's why I'm telling
Right.
you the story,
Right.
that how the connection there is. And that's why I tell people, like, when someone passes away, they just come out of this body. The soul,
Right. The soul leaves the body and they're no longer connected to
that
any dark energy
Right.
or the pain or anything.
Exactly.
Physically and emotionally.
Exactly.
Correct.
And that's why in the Jewish religion, they say we cover the mirrors because we don't want to see each other. It's not true. The soul goes back to where it knows best.
Right.
It goes home. So it smashes into mirrors. Doesn't, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is. It's not because we can't look at each other. But that's what they tell you because they don't want to talk about it. In Kabbalah, they're so much more ahead.
Oh, Kabbalah. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. I
Yeah.
know. If you
Yeah.
really want to know the true meaning of life,
Yeah.
read the Kabbalah. And let me tell you
Yeah.
something. It's deep. You might have to read the page about 2, 3, 5 times.
Oh, yeah. Like I'm in
Because it's very deep, but it
Yeah.
explains a lot about the true meaning of life, which is known as the Kabbalah, where all religions are based from the Kabbalah.
That's right. And my classes are mostly non-Jews who actually a lot converted. So when we see all this hate outside and all this anti-Semitic, it's hard to believe that it's actually because around the world there's Kabbalah centers.
Right.
And in each one, there's more non-Jews practicing this
Kabbalah,
type,
yeah.
which is, it's not like I say, it's still
It's
Judaism.
it's more on a spiritual
It's a
level.
spiritual side of
It's
the
a spiritual
exactly.
level, right.
And I suggest to anybody that's looking not for something religious, but something to figure out. Like it's the Kabbalah when I started at 1, the best class is the 1, 2, and 3. Like I'm at 7, but it's much better. The 1, 2, and 3. If you want to know how to let go of your ego and use your soul, like you say, use your heart, your soul.
That's how I do readings.
Right,
From the
exactly.
soul.
From the
And
soul, exactly. When you start using your soul for business, for
everything
you're
goes
you're
much
you're gonna
smoother.
be successful. You're gonna get up in the morning. You're not gonna have struggles. When you use your ego, that's why. If you notice the people who are angry and
Upset
I'm
and
not
everything.
I'm not gonna pay this. I'm not gonna give that. That's ego.
Right.
And that's why they keep attracting misery.
Right,
Loves
misery
company.
company,
Yeah, ego. When you
100%.
start using your soul, you attract other happy people. Practice. Another thing is practice not saying one bad word or negative for 1 week, and see how many new people you meet.
Right,
The laws of attraction.
right.
Because you don't realize, even though you're not saying, "Oh, I don't like her, I don't like him, or he, her," your ego is still telling the universe, "I'm a bitter, unhappy person.
Right.
Send me more unhappy, bitter. Misery loves company." Right?
Mhm.
Start using your soul, and you'll see who you attract. No, it doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care. You'll see. There's so many people.
I just saw.
There's so many souls looking for each other.
I'm gonna open up a bar,
Yeah.
and it's gonna say, "Misery loves company. Meet the people like yourself, because misery loves company."
No, you want to
Great
no,
idea.
I'm just-
soul to
I'm joking.
no,
I'm
soul to
joking when I
soul.
say
There's
that.
there's the
That's
perfect.
a great name.
Soul
Yeah.
to soul.
There is
yeah.
the perfect name for a club. Soul to
The
soul.
soul.
Do
Love it.
events?
Right.
We're going to call it soul to soul.
Soul.
We're using this name, soul to soul,
Mhm.
not ego to
And
ego.
that right, and want
Look
to
at
know
that,
something?
soul to soul. Look at
when
that.
I
I was
said,
just saying, soul to
I
soul.
said to Esther, I said, I got the name for the show. I said, what do you think? And I told her, she goes, it's perfect. She goes, I love it.
Exactly.
I
And
love
look
it.
what I didn't even realize
Yeah.
it when I said it. It's the soul to soul. These
a
people met
soul-to-soul
because their
connection.
souls
Yeah.
were ready to meet. When everybody has a soul connection out there.
Right.
But we keep using ego. Oh, I'm not going to call her. Oh, she's so busy. I see her. Oh, she has her show. Oh, she has this or he has that. Like you're seeing an image on social media. Don't look at the image of social media. Don't meet somebody when they're at work. Do you understand? Like when I tell people, I don't like when people go on a lunch date these days. Like back in my day was okay because nobody had phones. Today, you send someone on a lunch date, they're like this looking at the office. What's your name? Oh, yeah. Esther? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so busy at that office. Oh, got to get back. Oh, God, I have so many calls to make. There goes the date.
Hold it.
Oh, that was a great
That
soul.
happened with your trainer
What do you mean?
when you were saying about a date that you went on, and he was always on his phone
Right. Right.
and stuff.
Right.
So
there
she
you
was-
go.
Yeah.
There you
One
go.
of her friends,
Yeah.
who does training.
Yeah.
You were just telling me that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
very
there
true.
you go. So I don't let people go on dates on lunch hour. It's not, you
Right.
can't. And even after, like, I'll meet after work for a drink. We're not living in the days like we lived. Like we worked 9 to 5 or 6.
Oh, let me tell you
No,
something.
no, no. And we had an
Connecting-
hour lunch and we used to meet our friends for lunch
Yeah.
outside, sit there and talk for an hour.
Yeah.
You go meet people for an hour lunch. Everybody's on their phone. Oh, I got to go back to the office. Oh, this one called me. Oh, God, I got to add to this.
Oh, you go to any restaurant
Yeah.
and you'll see at least half the people on their phones.
Well, you go to, I've been in Hong Kong, literally in Hong Kong, where the husband and wife are literally like on the phone.
They're not even talking to one
The
another.
Asians, yeah, they sit there and they're just on the phone. I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's really the disconnect. But I the soul to soul, that's the most beautiful name because especially
Thank
for
you.
what I do, and oh my God, got such a connection here. If you use your soul, I promise you will find your soulmate.
Right.
You know, and everybody
bet.
has more than one soulmate. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. Like,
I know. I tell people
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your soulmate, it could be to your kids. A soulmate. It's not
Yeah,
necessarily lovers.
yeah.
Like you and your grandmother.
Yeah.
You were
She-
definitely
she was
soulmates.
she was my
of one of
soulmate.
your soulmates.
She was my soulmate. She
100%.
taught me a lot. And even, you know what, I want to say another thing that's very important in this topic is that everybody comes in your life for a reason. Okay.
Mhm,
Everybody,
absolutely.
somehow you get to somebody, whatever. If they hurt you, oh, I'm sorry.
Bells will be ringing.
You know what I mean? If somebody, I had closed it off. If I had, like so many people, they think that when someone hurts them, they can't get over it. Look at why they hurt you. They taught you something.
Yes, I agree with that.
And that's one of the reasons why people always say, how do you go through life, Susan, and bounce back so fast after something happens to you? I said, because I don't look at everything the way you look at it. I don't look at, okay, they hurt me, they did this to me. I look at, okay, what did they teach me?
Yeah.
I say
agree
those
with that.
exact words.
You know,
and I-
what did they did they teach
all
me?
That's like
behavior-
karmic
all
contract.
behavior-
This is a karmic
Yeah,
contract.
yeah.
So
all behavior is a
yes.
learned behavior.
Exactly.
Right.
Like
All
everybody, like
behavior is a
some
learned
people
behavior.
come in your life.
So either you
yeah.
could keep on repeating that behavior.
There you go.
Or you could learn from it and boom. I wrote my father a thank you. My father had a very difficult personality.
So did mine.
Yeah.
So did all, I think all
we
our
can relate-
fathers. That was
we
a
can
different
relate.
generation.
So my father had a very challenging personality, and my mother was the saint of all saints. And I wrote my father a thank you letter for being my dad. And my brother said, "What are you, crazy?" And I said, "Thanks to you, you stepped on all the landmines, and I've learned exactly what not to do." I said, all the pain that you've created and the way you treated mom and the way you treated certain other people. He wasn't all bad. My father was not all bad, but you never knew what personality you were dealing with.
Yeah.
But I said, because of you, I have learned what not to do, because I would not want to give that kind of pain to anybody else.
Do you see yourself choosing your relationships as people with a lot of personalities, different like one day they're like this and one day they're like that? Because
I don't rephrase what you just said. I don't get what you're saying.
like when you meet somebody,
When I personally meet
personally,
somebody,
like your mate or whoever
right.
you're choosing, do you find that they have multiple personalities?
no, multiple.
Like, do they
no.
have, like your dad, like do they have the similarity of the personality? Like,
I'm trying to think of, there are people who treat other people differently. It's interesting that you should say that, no, but no. Wait. My one girlfriend, Allison, one girl that I dated was very much so like that. And I said to her after a couple of years, I said, I deserve better than what you're giving me. I don't want that anymore.
so
And I
thank
let
God
it
they
go.
had a dad like that. Eh?
There was this one specific, only one of all the women that I've dated in my lifetime that was like that. Shoot, there was something important I wanted to share with you. Shit, I forgot.
You guys
It'll come
can
back
have
to
your own podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll do this again.
Absolutely.
We're doing this
Something-
more often.
Thank
I
you so
think we
much
need a
for
soul
coming
to
on
soul.
this- Thank you so much for coming
Esther,
on the
it's
show.
been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Of
I came
course.
back from Florida at 1
a
o'clock
day
in the morning.
earlier or something. I know.
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
specifically to come
Well,
on the show.
I also
And
have
we
a
We
party,
all
yeah.
connected soul to soul on some level.
Yeah, we did.
There we go.
Thank
There
you
go.
Dave
so
and Sharon,
much.
thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We will see
was
you
a
next
pleasure.
time. Yeah. Ciao
Until
for
next
now.
time. That's
yeah.
right. You got it. Thank you for joining Soul to Soul.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Soul to soul, feel the rhythm flow. Heart wide open, let your spirit glow. With Artie Hoffman, now you know. Soul to soul, let's go.